Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today to the YouTube channel, The Duchess of Unicorn. And today is December 13th, and I hope I post this today, but it is December 13th that I'm posting it. I may do it a little bit later or tomorrow. I'm reading a headline in the United States from Fox News that says Stefanie Powers says Meghan Markle's job is to be Harry's wife, not to change the royal dynamic. I think that's pretty clear and evident to many people. And even me, I feel kind of that she's right on target and that that target with all its rings, most of us are somewhere in those rings, if it was bullseye. So the former Heart to Art star became friends with Britain's Prince Charles through their love of playing polo, believes the Duchess of Sussex should rethink her role within the palace. She's 77 years old, and she believes a 38-year-old wants to be a star, which I'm sorry is not what she's supposed to be doing. Now that right there is 100% evident to most of us who are kind of scratching our head about Meghan Markle. And side note, if you hear the Christmas music in the background, don't mind me. I actually have a few minutes to wrap presents, and I said, let me just go ahead over here and catch up on some stuff, because again, I may post it later on this evening, but I may also decide to do it tomorrow. And back to the article, Meghan's role is not about being a star, the actress continued about the former Suits star. Those headlines saying she was Hollywood royalty marrying British royalty, she had a role in a TV show, please. She's obviously not a great actress. She's not gotten in the role she was taken on. She's not gotten in the role she's taken on. Grace Kelly did when she married Prince Rainier of Monaco. But then she was Hollywood royalty, not a bit player in a minor TV series. So I think it was, hard driven and right to the point, her point. And it may be what many people are feeling in general. It doesn't mean that people don't like her. It means that they don't like what she's doing, if that makes any sense. Most people, okay, the most general people, the average Joe and Jane, don't really care for what Meghan Markle is presuming to know and presuming to do. Changing the monarchy, I think that's a little bit, it's kind of like President Trump, which she herself, Meghan Markle, does not approve of. President Trump. He is the same, he behaves this in the same manner such as the Duchess, which goes to show me as an American citizen that she's hypocritical, and that she did not, when she was not in royalty or dating royalty, when she was just an actress trying to make it in the world at almost 40 years old and not really getting any successful parts, which goes to show you it's a lot more than your acting skills in Hollywood that get you to the top. It's a combination of things. And obviously Meghan Markle did not have it. So when she was an actress, she was commenting on President Trump and how she had a disdain for him, and that she'd leave the country, if he ever became president, which he did become president, and she left the country later after finding a way into the royal family. Now, I said it again, and I'll say it and say it and say it. Prince Harry seems to be off of his game. And also you have to ask yourself, who wanted to be married to Prince Harry? Who was he dating and in a relationship that wanted to be in the limelight so significantly? So that's a question. But so Meghan came along, and sometimes timing is everything. I don't know if you've heard that before, but they say sometimes timing is everything. And now that Meghan is no longer, officially in America, she's still American, but she is not really involved in the climate here. And she pretty much is trying her luck over in Britain. And the British people are not having it because she's really kind of making a mockery of the monarchy. And I say that not because I don't respect the Queen, because I don't think there's many people that don't respect the Queen. She's she's been she's been there for long before I was ever born, and she is quite a lady. She's someone that you really can look up to in the way that it's a woman running a country. I know, and they say that she's just a figurehead, but I feel like it's a little bit more than that. But we'll never know ultimately. But I do feel that she's more than just a figurehead. I know that years back they had more substantial, power in the way that they were in everything and they were everything. And now I think it's fixed so that the monarchy is kind of on the sidelines, but they still really co-run the country. So they do have an arm in things, but did delegate, if you will, things to their governments who they put in place, just like the church. But I digress. Back to Meghan Markle. So she is disgusted by Trump, the United States president, and he always does that. He always says one thing, that he's so fantastic and he has great hair, or his hands are fine size, or his thumbs are not small. He's been ridiculed from everything from his body, his hair, his personality, racism. And here you have Meghan Markle, who should know better because she is one of the people that opposed him and didn't really agree with him and his presidency or running for president and becoming president. And now she herself, now that she's in a position where she can manipulate things, if you will, she's let it all go to her head. And it reminds me a lot of Trump getting into the presidency and closing the door and going, wow, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I pulled that off. Is kind of what I feel Meghan Markle did shortly after she got married. It's like it all came to her. This is me, my opinion, but it feels like it all came to her, all out of the blue. And so when I see articles like this where people are saying, just straight to the point and utter truth, I have to agree. I really have to agree. And now the American news, especially on the internet here, is showing a lot of magazines like Bazaar and Delish and People. Here's People, and we already know that Sarah Ferguson believes that she has been in Meghan Markle's shoes, and that's probably not a compliment or to condone or make her think that, or make anybody think that she can truly relate to Meghan Markle. You can't truly relate to Meghan Markle except that you both have been ridiculed by the general public. And it was relentless for Sarah Ferguson. And you see that she divorced Prince Andrew, and she's done okay for herself. She wrote a few books, so she's obviously kind of in the same realm that, there you go. You can see Meghan Markle. She could do that at the least if her and Harry's marriage doesn't last. And I don't think anybody feels that marriage is going to last. And if it does last, it's almost going to be like, are they just staying together because A, Meghan Markle doesn't want everybody to be correct, and B, she's not the type to say, I'm a loser, And I find that even looking back at Meghan Markle, like her career, she's not, to give it up wasn't much to give up. It's still more career than I had. Like, I'm no actress, but to look at it and turn back and go, yeah, what did I do? I did one show and a handful of spots and commercials. That's an actress, but it's not where I think she aspired to be. I'm sure there's somebody out there that say, I just want to do commercials, act a little bit, do some commercials, do a few bit parts, pay my bills, have a little extra money, and maybe, whatever comes along, comes along. In Meghan Markle's career, she kind of just had a handful of commercials, some bit parts here and there. She never was a leading star except for Suits, and that was on I call it a B station, a B channel. So it wasn't like HBO or anything. It wasn't like, she was on a Hulu program. And it's so funny because there's so many people that can be on a Hulu program. Think about this. There's so many shows that Hulu and Netflix and all these big media companies are putting out, movies and shows and pilots, and you would just understand that Meghan Markle was just in that one, and she rode that surfboard all the way until she had her next gig, which was Harry. And I feel like she knew. I mean, I'm just ad-libbing here, and it's just my opinion and how I feel. But my view is that she kind of knew that was crashing. That show was coming to an end. It had played out as long as it could play out, and she knew it, And I don't feel that Meghan is, not intelligent. I feel she is intelligent. But you can be intelligent and take advantage of things. Anybody can. And some people, like she has super fans. Anybody who's on TV can have a super fan. Not impressed. It's not like she's Prince. It's not like she's John Lennon. It's not like she's Marilyn Monroe. She's not Serena Williams. You can be claiming you're Serena Williams' friend all day and all night, but you're not Serena Williams. So, she's never been recognized for a great talent outside of being talented enough to score Harry. And then the flip side of that, of her being talented enough to score Harry, you can use your sexual appeal for someone who's soft, and they can think the world of you. And when two people collide on both sides of the fence like that, and they collide and they come together, they can do a lot of things. They can do great things even, if two minds think alike. And that's where we have to stop and think. We can really bash Meghan all we want, but it really doesn't, it's not going to stop her from being who she is. It's not going to promote her anymore to be who she is. I mean, I would think that it's not a motivation that her haters, so-called haters, or her critics are not going to motivate her to do more. It's more authentic that she does who she is and tries to be as authentic as she can, not motivated by the rest of the public who thinks she's doing so many things out of step. Now, if she was doing this and she was like a Stepford wife, well, that's what it kind of seems like. She kind of seems like a Stepford wife. And she kind of is showing a little bit, it's kind of dizzying how many things that she wants to do. Write a book, change the monarchy, be an editor. She wants to go into politics. I don't know, it seems like she's going to do 18 different things at the same time. And it kind of defeats the whole being zen and centered and focused. Being assertive and aggressive and doing stuff that she's doing, which seems to be a little bit manipulative in terms of how she got into the monarchy. And it's also the monarchy's fault because they couldn't read into her. And that's another thing. It makes me really interested to think that all these conspiracy theorists who claim that the queen is a lizard and the monarchy is not good, it's actually defunct, it's actually a bunch of really sinister people who are, anti the public, anti the general common person, and how they have these superpowers and unseen powers. And I think it was Putin that said the queen shape shifted in front of him to let him know that she has other power. So she has incredible powers. And I don't know if that's true or not. That's a conspiracy theory thing. But knowing all those conspiracy theories that are out there about the monarchy, how sinister they really are, especially the British monarchy. I'm specifically talking about the British monarchy in these conspiracy theories. How did they if they're so powerful and so mysterious and so otherworldly, for lack of better words, then why would they allow Meghan Markle to even get by? Like, if they are demonic, let's say, or again, otherworldly. I have no idea. I'm just saying you can look up the conspiracy theories on the British monarchy being reptilian and such on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. Then how did they let Meghan Markle in? It doesn't make sense. So it kind of blows that whole theory out of the water that they're reptilian and that they have an agenda and they're super powerful. And now I'm not just talking power with money, I'm talking supernatural powerful. How then did the Queen allow this person in? Then it can open a whole other type of, another whole type of can of worms by thinking that who's playing who. And so the Queen is not a stupid woman. Clearly, you run a country, billions of dollars, so many companies upon companies upon companies, and money that we would not even know they have, and power that we don't even know they have. They own islands. They own this. I mean, it seems like anybody can own an island today, but that's what the problem with the monarchy is that anybody can own an island. Anybody can live in a castle. No longer do we live in the day where you need to be a old blood from 14 centuries ago, or it's 1,000 centuries ago. You don't have to be you can actually be a performer, an entertainer. You can be anybody. The president of the United States. You can be an old actor and become president. You can have money by selling your books or music or coming up with a great invention. Being an actress for 50 years of your life can get you where you can buy a little, if you're good with your money, can buy a little castle. Maybe not to the level of, again, that the monarchy has, because it's such old money. The Queen did not create that wealth on her own, A. B, she did not create that wealth yesterday. Her wealth has been building up for 1,000 centuries. Okay, so it's not yesterday that wealth has come to pass. And I can tell you this in closing this short video is that nothing Meghan Markle can do will collapse the monarchy and dissolve them of their riches or their fame. So they'll never be, they can be infamous, but they'll never be unfamous. And they certainly won't be broke. Now, not that it can't happen too. I mean, of course, you can dissolve the monarchy. Like, for instance, I think the beginning of dissolving the monarchy would be they're letting Andrew step down, so he's one of the sons. Prince Charles becomes Prince Regent or King Regent, and his mother, the Queen, passes away, and then what he does is he says nobody else can be part of the monarchy. Nobody's getting any money except my two sons, their family, and me and my wife. So that excludes all his brothers and sister, Anne, Princess Anne, and anybody else in their family. So everybody gets no payment, no royalty. They're already wealthy, but I'm just saying, going forward, nobody else will be on the payroll. And so that could happen, and that keeps the monarchy really small. But it also makes them still elite, but it puts them off the map, so to speak. Like maybe they'll just kind of go off and retire, and whatever they do will kind of be interesting, and we'll be like, oh, wow, okay, that's great. Look at that. Yeah, I remember them. Remember Queen Elizabeth when she passed away? Charles became king. She stepped down and Charles became king regent. It'll be like a folklore thing. It won't be something where we're like, oh, we really miss them and, we need them back. But I don't think that it's Meghan who's doing that. So I just want to be fair and say that, she could have always been very intelligent. She could have always been savvy. She could have always been manipulative. And I'm sure that she was. And I say that because of her dad. It seems like she's totally turned her back on her family. And I don't, that doesn't sit well with me personally. But I feel like with everybody coming out of the woodwork and saying their opinion of her, she really doesn't have a chance in winning anybody over. This has nothing to do with Princess Diana, and I wish that people would stop including Princess Diana and stop trying to make this about Princess Diana, because it's not anything to do with Princess Diana. And Prince Harry should be ashamed of himself for mentioning his mother in relation to his wife, because the two have nothing in common in terms of where they come from. Princess Diana was already in noble, she was a commoner, so-called, but she had noble lineage, whereas Meghan has English or British ancestry through her father, which she denies. So, she now has like shunned or denied her father. So I don't really feel like it should be anything about Princess Diana, because I just don't see the likeness, and the whole world will never see the likeness between Meghan and Princess Diana, even though Meghan married Princess Diana's son. And it's kind of, insultive of both Harry and Meghan. Meghan doesn't know any better. Prince Harry should know better than to insult the general public in thinking that if he says that, it's just like his mother all over again, then we'll believe it. It's not, and you won't get our sympathy because we're not that interested in Meghan. I'm interested in Meghan in the sense that there's parts of me that find her interesting, because the interesting part is you have to relate to this, is that she made it from being a B actress to the royal family. And so we either take the side of, wow, anybody can do that then. Because if Meghan can get in, anybody can marry royalty. And it's true. Look up some of the royal families. Or you take the other side and say, wow, she's very unique in the fact that how she was able to do that. She must be talented, intelligent, well-versed. She must be on her A game to be able to be accepted by the royal family. And I'll leave it with this, is she really accepted by the royal family? On either side, whether you take the side that she was manipulative and cunning and underhanded, and that's how she, faked her way in, and then when she got in, she changed or became, her true self or blossomed. And then on the other hand, she was accepted by the royal family and from the get-go, and if she can do it, then anybody can do it. So you don't know either way, but she's not being accepted by the royal family because you don't see anyone in the royal family, especially right now, since she's had her child, that I believe that she might have had IVR or something like that, or might have had a surrogate, but I really don't feel like she went through the motherly experience, because she just, A, doesn't seem the type, B, she didn't seem to show any of the pregnancy symptoms at all. So I just want to say that I don't think she's really accepted by the royal family. And even though it appears to be, but you'll see she's wearing no royal crowns, no royal jewels. She's not invited anywhere by the Queen. It looks like they've been officially locked out. And so we'll see as future unwinds. And of course, they can be locked out now, and then the royal family can come around, or she can do some good deed and the royal family will come around and she'll be at a royal occasion. But we're not seeing right now any jewels. She hasn't been able to wear any royal jewels borrowed from the Queen for her entire 2 or 3 years being married to Prince Harry so far. So that tells me a lot. That tells me a lot right there. So actions speak louder than words. Just always tell yourself that when you're watching TV or you're looking at these headlines. Actions speak louder than words. And I see now that U.S. Weekly is saying Duchess Meghan is not pregnant with Prince Harry's second child. No, we know that. What I predict is that they are going to adopt further and they're going to do this to upset or rock the royal monarchy. So they're going to adopt. And I believe they'll adopt a child that's totally not Caucasian, if that makes any sense. So we'll see if that prediction is right. But I feel like they're going to have a non-Caucasian child, whether that be, a Western Indian or American mixed child, or an African child, or a child that's just in some type of need for just that blessing of a good family. And I'm not sure if they're a good family, but the blessings that come with being a royal. So I kind of feel like that's what's going to happen. And don't forget that you heard it here. I'll be one of the many people that think it's evident that they're going to adopt. And I feel like they're going to adopt because it's going to further rock the monarchy. And I think could be Meghan's. It's not changing the monarchy. I feel almost that Meghan seems to be trying to crumble the monarchy. And so that's my opinion. All my views are my own. And this video is for entertainment purposes only. And I guess time will tell what happens. But you have to do your own research and everything. And everything that is going on with this whole royal debauchery. Because I feel like she's making biracial women look bad. Or biracial people look bad. She's making even black people, because a lot of people, since she's half, ethnic black, which is, for lack of better words, like she's half black, she's making that look like a thing. American look like a thing. Biracial look like a thing. Instead of coming correct and being as decent as she can, it seems like she's just trying to just do whatever she wants, like it's a get in and grab and go. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But look for that adopted baby coming up next year or the year after, at least by the end of next year, because she's not getting any younger. I mean, we don't even know that she's really 38. She could be 45. And if we wait any more time than that, not a lot of people are going to believe that she's having a child. So chances are, as the years go on, which they already are on, especially if she's actually really 45, in her early 40s, she obviously isn't going to even try to run that IVR thing on us. She's probably going to look at adopting. That gets her out of the whole baby bump thing, which was probably nerve-wracking. Holding that moon bump thing tied around her. It's probably hot. And people could hear it popping and tugging and moving and bouncing. And so I think she won't go through that again because it made her look bad and people called it. I think this time it's going to be adopting, and it's going to be adopting of a child that is either blended nationalities. I doubt the baby will be handicapped, but I do feel like it will be a blended child of some sort. And most typically maybe Black or African or Zimbabwean or Middle Eastern or however. We'll see. All right. Thank you for taking a time to come in and look at this nonsense on the American news on Miss Markle and all the thousand things she's doing. It's like every day has to be something different. But thank you for stopping in to the Duchess of Unicorn. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.